Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 8:30 on a wet, drocky, dreary night in the west of Ireland again. It wasn't a bad day, nice bit of sunshine up till probably 3 o'clock, and just pissing rain then in the evening. I was going to go to Leyland Bridge, which was on the back of my head, to see the homecoming of Gallup and Deschamps. But that's bad old road then back from Leyland Bridge, back through the bog, back to unless I went on over to get the N4. So I changed my mind. I got lazy. So we'll see him again, hopefully. I meant to say last night, before I get on to the racing part of it, Niall Foley, we were down with him on Friday, and they have a pub there in Foley's in Keshcarrigan. It's called Gertie's, and we were down there Friday watching the racing. It was the first time ever I seen an open fire. Not the first time I seen an open fire, but the first time I seen an open fire, and they're cooking the breakfast with a pan going full tilt when we went in. That was about 20 minutes before the first race. But it was the first time I ever seen a man with a short trousers. Well, he had a pair of shorts on him, but you wouldn't know whether it was a long short trousers or a short long trousers. But as well as that, he was wearing a pair of Wellingtons. The Leitrim men loved their Wellingtons. Older folklore, I tell you, some of them used to wear them to bed, like a horse wears his shoes to bed. But well worth a visit if any of you ever pass on that neck of the woods. I'm sure I'll be back at some stage again. Also, last night I sang that song, and I forgot to say the Transit Van song by Seamus Moore. What reminded me of that last week, it entered my head. There was a funeral, a neighbour, Christy Keaveney, he died there recently, 87, 88, but his 3 sons that live in Chicago. I used to go skiing with them years ago. They were better skiers than I was at the time. They used to go up to the top of the summit. I'd get off on the chair right up at halfway. Well, eventually we caught up to them, up top and down at the bottom. But they used to sing. You'd hear them all over the canyon. That was in Dubuque, Iowa. All over the hills, you'd hear the 3 of them singing together. They used to sing that one, and they used to sing the Connaught Rangers, and it put me in mind when I was chatting them above at the wake there last week. But great crack that night in Dubuque, and we're staying in a hotel, and we're in an Irish pub, and a sing-song going. But there's a city ordinance there, or there was that time. That'd be probably the ghost of 30 years ago. So the city ordinance, you couldn't be on the street after 12 midnight until 6 a.m. Or you'd be arrested. So we were in the pub and we were sing-song going. We didn't care. We'd have stayed till 6 in the morning. It didn't bother us. But the owner had to discreetly look out the window, look out the door, try and get a taxi, because the taxi man would be in trouble for picking us up. We'd be in trouble for going on the street, and the man in the pub would be in trouble as well. So we could be all in jail, and they would lock you up. There'd be no excuses at all, it'd be like jaywalking. So eventually, I think it was 2:30 when we got out, eventually. But well oiled, as they say. But a great night. There was a few Tipperary lads. I remember Declan Carr, he captained Tipperary to hurling. Sam McCarthy, or Sam, the McCarthy Cup. I was thinking of Sam McGuire, the McCarthy Cup. He was with us, and there was another lad, I can't remember who he was. But a great weekend. When we're mentioning of Chicago, a buddy of mine that's living there a long time, he's me head wrecked the last few months. They're raffling a house. It's worth $650,000, and they're raffling it. The tickets are $100, and the raffle is next Sunday night, and it's Gaelic Park, where the football. I played in it for years when I was playing there, and it was only starting off that time in the mid-80s, late 80s. But that's where you go to if you want to purchase a ticket. ChicagoGaelicPark.com/home raffle. And we have a man here that John Devitt. He's a director of Gaelic Park Charities, and he follows the channel since the outset. I haven't met him in a couple of years, or no, a good few years, but here he is giving us.
Memories of coming to Gaelic Park and having weddings and showers and birthday parties and coming here for festivals. But there's also another side of Gaelic Park, and that's the charitable donations arm, which we have a committee that meets once a month before a regular meeting, and we get many requests every month for different organisations and needy causes, and we always answer that bell because we have a fund set up specifically to answer those kind of calls. And part of our mission here is not just to preserve our culture, our games, our music and our dance, but also to be part of the community for helping out with various organisations, be it Cub Scouts associations, or be it every year we have a scholarship fund that goes to a different school every year, different high school every year, and we get requests from police associations, firemen's associations, we get requests from many different organisations, and our fund doles out money to those needy causes. We love to be part of the community here. Being part of the community is also part of our mission. We just don't want to be a standalone building, caping to Irish and Irish Americans. We're open to the public, and we love to see people coming in. And with that in mind right now, we have a major undertaking going on in Mount Greenwood. We're building a house, and it's under construction, under roof, windows in, shingles on right now, but it's ongoing. And we have a raffle to take place the end of March next year. I believe it's March 24th. And the house is estimated, appraised at about $650,000. So for one lucky individual who's going to buy a $100 ticket, they're going to be the proud owner of a home in Mount Greenwood on Sawyer Avenue. That's in a wonderful location, a good city location for those people who have to work in the city. So please support this raffle because it will help us to keep our mission alive in what we do, not just on the charitable side, but also on the Gaelic Park side, which is keeping everything that's Irish that we love alive.
Well said, John. John, as you can know by his accent, Rui, he's a dub. Can't remember what part of Dublin he's from. He's a good friend of mine in the club years ago. That's the pad there. That's the gaff. You could put on the pan in that kitchen too. Look at the kitchen table there, and she's well spruced up. That actually is the gaff. So it's worth of 650,000, and you can take 450,000 in cash if you don't want to move out. If somebody wanted to, I said I'd give it a plug, and Connery had my head wrecked. So they call him the head yo out there, the Galway Bucks, and he's from Roscommon. You see, they call him Dowell Yo. A great man to get buy sell tickets, and get money for charities. So anyone that wants to buy one, feel free to do so. We want to, with one horse running today, finished the race all right. He looked under the cosh at the start, and behaved well to finish. The ground obviously was totally against him, which was very unlike a horse from Venetia Williams. I thought it'd be more suitable, but drifted out on the exchanges all day, and even they were paying 3 places each way out of 6 runners, and didn't even do that until it went out to 9-2. I thought it'd run better, got well bet in the finish. I have 2 horses tomorrow. There's 3.5 mile on soft to heavy in places. The going in Haydock. We backed O'Connell the last day, if you remember, and to the 3 mile race, and coming to the last, we were getting the wheelbarrow ready, and traded 1-6 and running, and got outstayed. So it doesn't bode well for an extra half a mile tomorrow. We also backed Robin DeZone another Venetia Williams horse that I thought would relish the heavy conditions the last day, and got pulled up. But that was 3 miles 6. I thought the going would suit it, but by process of elimination and a good run the last day, Sam Thomas trained, Di Walters owned, Walters Plantire, is 7-year-old, lightly raced, only 3 chases, but 3 miles 5 the last day. It was going grand up front. We actually were on silver in disguise in this race. So remember this, it's only a 7-year-old. So the youngest horse in the field, bar one, that day. And it was going well, and it clouted one out in the country, and he gave it time to recover, Sammy Twished. And it ran on well and moved the chains a good yardstick, was third. He went off 5 to a second favourite, and he was 16 lengths back in third. Wide Gaelic went on to win it. But this finished second, and I thought it was a good first time at the trip. I thought it done very well. So the same trip tomorrow. Hopefully it can go one better. Where are you? No. Doesn't want to show, does it? I'll try it once more. Must be out of petrol. No, I'll give up. I don't know what. I think it's my old laptop. It's need a new one. Anyway, that's Jubilee Express. In the 3:15 as well, there's a horse running Ascending Lark. It's a half sister to Romeo Coolio, who was second in the bumper, who was bought for 420,000, Gordon Elliott's horse, but ran first time out in a bumper in Cork last January, just over 12 months ago, to Fancy Girl. And Fancy Girl went off 8 to 11 favourite on the strength of having beaten Dysart Dinos in a point-to-point. So it ran well enough, I thought, that day. We'll see, will this play? It's with the white nose man there, I suppose.
Leaving behind Kathleen Dunn.
And the winner of the favourite is on the rail.
Furlongs, Fancy Girl over on the far side, the blue jacket, followed by Ascending Lark to Loughlin in the middle. Making ground is Cathy Choice ahead of Milan Away. Leaving behind is Double Dating with No Fussing, Kathleen Go, but it's Fancy Girl the leader, being followed by Ascending Lark. It's still the same two in the first two positions from Flag Fall, followed by Cathy Choice, and then to Loughlin and Milan Away, but it's Fancy Girl the leader from Ascending Lark in second place, and booted clear in the final furlong is Fancy Girl and Patrick Mullins. Compensation gains in the last for the colours, with in second place.
It ran behind Brighter Days Ahead. In it was third, like that was second in Cheltenham. There is supposed to be the real deal, and then it ran in a listed race in listed bumper down the field. But it's well bred. An ounce of breeding is worth more than a ton of feeding, as I was told years ago. So Dame of Cotswold, that hasn't ran since it was third in the Victor Ludorum, to Salver, who was third, wasn't it, in the Triumph. It's a 4-year-old, but it's just a thing with that, with the race tomorrow. It was well bet, and I jumped very slow that day. Yeah, it was third to Magsborough. But it jumped poor enough. It's a nice bit of an engine in it, but you'd imagine if that's tuned up for the first run for Harry Durham tomorrow. Now, it has no future fancy entries yet, but seeing that they're starting off this time of the year, maybe you never know, would they be sending it on to Aintree or to Punchestown or somewhere? I don't know. So I'll get this into the oven. Be 9:15. I might go visiting to kill an hour because I'm not a television man at all. And I'll see you soon. Bash the bookies, over and out.